Do you know what quietly pushes people away sometimes? Not because of anything you intended, but simply because life has shaped you in ways others don't fully understand. Do you know what happens when years of experience, wisdom, and hurt settle into certain habits? Habits that feel protective or practical or simply familiar. But to others, they can feel like walls or distance or silence. And do you know how often seniors who have so much love and history in their hearts end up feeling misunderstood? When all they've ever wanted was connection, respect, and a place where they still matter. If you've ever wondered why relationships feel different as you get older, if you've ever noticed people pulling back or not visiting as often or not calling the way they used to, this video is for you. Because most of the time, it's not about what seniors do wrong. It's about the quiet habits that life's challenges create. Habits that people misinterpret, even though your intentions are pure. And today, we're going to explore these gentle truths together with compassion, warmth, and the reminder that you still have the power to draw people closer, to shape deeper relationships, and to continue being a meaningful part of the lives around you. Before we go deeper, if you feel comfortable, I'd love to invite you to like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe to Golden Life. In Paris's impressions, which shaped Opticurrent, and subscribe to Golden Life and subscribe to Golden Life. It helps this community grow, and it lets more seniors, just like you, find messages of hope, strength, and encouragement. Thank you, truly. You know, as the years go by, we all collect experiences that change the rhythm of how we interact with others. Sometimes we become quieter, sometimes we become more protective of our time, or our routines, or our emotions. And sometimes, without meaning to, we send signals that others interpret as disinterest, irritation, or distance, even though that's not who we are at all. So let's gently explore some of these moments, the ones that happen beneath the surface, so you can understand them, reflect on them, and use them to strengthen your relationships, rather than weaken them. There's something that happens with age that younger people don't always recognize. You learn the value of peace. Not every conversation needs to be loud or energetic. Not every disagreement needs to be fought. Not every moment requires your voice. You've lived long enough to understand that silence can be comforting and that stillness can be healing. But sometimes younger people interpret that calmness as disinterest. They see your quiet as withdrawal or your silence as judgment, when really you're simply resting your spirit. Maybe there's someone in your life who says, "You never say much anymore," or "I feel like you're not really here when we talk." And inside you want to say, "Time's here, I'm just tired," or thoughtful, or letting you express yourself because that's what you need. But the words don't always come out, and little by little people may create distance, not because you've done anything wrong, but because they misunderstand the softness that life has taught you to live in. And then there's the matter of independence. Seniors often carry pride in being capable, resourceful, and self-reliant. You learned long ago to solve problems yourself, to endure hardships quietly, to push through pain without making a fuss. But when you insist on doing everything alone, younger people can misinterpret it as rejection. They may feel like you're shutting them out, or like you don't trust them, or like you don't need them in your life. In reality, you're simply trying to maintain dignity, to hold on to the abilities that shaped who you are. But sometimes, letting someone help you, even in a small way, creates closeness. It helps others feel important, connected, valuable. They want to be there for you, even if you don't want to be a burden. And you are not a burden, not in the eyes of someone who loves you. Another quiet habit that can push people away without meaning to is emotional caution. When you've lived a long life, you've seen how fragile relationships can be. You've experienced loss of friends, family members, partners, familiar routines, the world as you once knew it. You've learned to guard your heart in ways that keep you from breaking again. But sometimes that guardedness makes it hard for others to know how you feel. They might think you're distant or uninterested, when in truth, you're protecting yourself from disappointment or grief. Maybe you don't say, "I miss you" often. Maybe you don't open up about your worries or fears. Maybe you don't share memories or feelings the way you used to. To someone younger, it might look like you're emotionally closed off, but inside, you might feel everything, deeply, silently, privately. People may pull back because they don't know how to reach you. If you just have said, not be, the dage, why, may see, why, d, people may pull back because they don't know how to reach you. But sometimes all it takes is one gentle conversation, one moment of vulnerability for connection to return. You have wisdom that younger generations can't fully understand until they've walked the same miles you've walked, but sometimes sharing that wisdom can come across as criticism, even when it comes from love. You may say, "Back in my day we did it differently," or "You should be careful about this," or "That's not how I would do it." And what you mean is, "I want to protect you from making a mistake. I care about your well-being." But others may misinterpret it as, "You don't think I'm capable," or "You're judging my choices." They might pull away, not because your advice lacks value, but because they haven't yet learned how to hear it as love. What many people don't realize is that seniors speak from a lifetime of experience, triumph, failure, loss, and learning. They speak from the heart. But communication between generations is delicate. Sharing wisdom with warmth, gentleness, and curiosity instead of certainty can make all the taste difference. A simple shift from "You should do this" to "Can I share something I've learned?" can open doors rather than close them. Another tender area is the way seniors sometimes talk about the past. Your memories are treasures. They connect you to the people you've loved, the places you've been, and the moments that shape your identity. But younger people may struggle when they hear stories repeated, or when conversations always return to how things used to be. They might feel like you're stuck, or that you're uninterested in their world. In truth, you're simply honoring the journey you've lived. You're holding on to the meaningful pieces of your story. What they may not realize is that, with age, memories become more vivid than the present moment. They become anchors, beautiful, comforting reminders of where you've been. Sharing them is a way of keeping them alive. But sometimes, people pull back when they don't understand why you share the same stories. Gentle balance can help. Mixing old memories with curiosity about others' lives invites them in instead of making them feel like they're standing at the edge of your experiences. There's also something tender about expectations. When you've grown up in a time of strong manners, clearer social rules, and deeper family bonds, it can be disappointing when others don't show the same level of courtesy or consistency. Maybe you expect phone calls on special days. Maybe you believe family should visit without being asked. Maybe you think children and grandchildren should initiate conversations more often. These feelings are real, understandable, and valid. But unspoken expectations can create distance. When people don't meet them, you may feel hurt. And when you feel hurt, you may withdraw. Others may feel that withdrawal and think you no longer want connection, even though you do. Life has changed. Communication has changed. Families live farther apart. Routines are different. People are busier than ever, sometimes speaking your needs with gentleness. "I'd love to hear from you more often," or "I miss seeing you," bridges gaps instead of widening them. Another habit that pushes people away without meaning to is dwelling on negative emotions. As we age, aches, pains, losses, and worries grow heavier. You may talk about health concerns, financial stress, or loneliness, because these things are real, but others may feel overwhelmed or unsure how to respond. They might slowly pull away, not because they don't care, but because they don't know how to help. It's not about pretending everything is perfect, it's about creating balance. Sharing struggles is important, but sharing joys too keeps relationships alive. People are drawn to warmth, hope, laughter, and light, and you carry so much light even on the days it feels dim. When you let others see the parts of you that still hold gratitude, resilience, humor, and wonder, they come closer, not farther. There's also the habit of assuming people don't want to be bothered. You might tell yourself, "They're busy," or "I don't want to interrupt," or "They have their own problems." And so you don't call, you don't ask for company, you don't share that you're feeling lonely. But people can't respond to needs they never hear. And sometimes when you stay silent, they assume you prefer to be alone. They don't realize you're protecting them from worry. But connection works both ways. Reaching out, even in small ways, keeps relationships alive. Lastly, there is something so deeply human that happens with age: fear of losing more. You may hesitate to build new friendships, try new activities, or trust new people because you've already lost so much. Protecting your heart feels safer than risking new pain. But avoidance can create isolation. People around you may interpret it as rejection. They may think you don't want company when in truth, you long for it but fear being disappointed again. Here's the gentle truth. You deserve connection. You deserve love, friendship, laughter, and purpose. You deserve to feel seen, valued, invited, and appreciated. And sometimes all it takes to draw people closer is a small shift, a soft smile, a warm greeting, a moment of vulnerability, a little openness, a gentle invitation. Life doesn't stop offering connection just because the years have passed. Your heart still has room to grow. Your presence still carries meaning. You still matter, more than you know. And if any of these quiet habits apply to you, please remember this. They do not make you flawed. They do not make you difficult. They do not make you someone others don't want to be around. They are simply signs of a life richly lived, shaped by experience, shaped by strength, shaped by survival. With just a little awareness, you can turn these habits into bridges instead of barriers. You can be the voice of wisdom that inspires rather than overwhelms. You can be the gentle presence people are drawn to. You can be the heart of your family, your community, your relationships, because you always have been. If you've ever felt alone, misunderstood, or left behind, let this be your reminder that connection is still possible. People still need you. People still care. And your story is still unfolding, with new chapters waiting to be written. Thank you for spending this time with me. If this message touched your heart, I would truly appreciate it if you would like this video. Leave a comment, subscribe to Golden Life Inspirations, and share this video with someone who needs encouragement today. Your support means so much, and together we can continue building a community where every senior feels valued, respected, and inspired.